Well, yeah, it looks like crap. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a different video today, as you probably noticed from the intro to the video. I wanted to talk today about resin fails. I have a few examples here of resin fails that I wanted to just kind of go over with you guys, talk about what went wrong, what I learned, that kind of thing. So if that interests you, please continue to watch. So, where do I start? I guess I'll start with the latest fail first. So, this is a tarot card that I placed inside of my Ouija mold. And a number of things went wrong with this. Number one, because the cards already seemed sealed, I didn't seal this one before putting it in. So the corners right here and here curled up. I don't even know if you'd be able to, I guess you could kind of see the depth difference between like this one, this corner, and then this corner. So these two corners curled up while the first initial layer of resin was curing. My second major issue was bubbles. There are an absolute metric ton of bubbles all throughout this. They're very hard for you to see on the camera, but I can see them. The third way that this was a fail is that if I color in the letters and, you know, the words and the images, it's going to absolutely cover up the thing that I wanted people to see, which was the tarot card. So, but also, the tarot card is sideways, which when I was making this, I was in a hurry because I was making several projects at once, and so, yeah. This is a great example of what not to do, kids. Alright, moving on from that disaster. Here's another disaster. I believe a few weeks ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago, I was working on several projects at once because when you're making stuff with resin, it's always a good idea to have a few projects in mind in case you have the extra resin, which I typically do. And on this particular day, I had done my other projects and then mixed up extra resin to pour coasters for my sister in Seattle. The problem is that I got so busy doing other stuff that I totally forgot about the resin. And I was trying to make the flower design in the resin, which you have to let your resin sit for, typically for this resin that I use, depending on how cold it is in the basement, I have to let it sit for like 45 minutes before I can even think about touching it and using it. Well, on this particular day, I forgot pretty badly about the resin. So it cured in the cup. Most of it cured in the cup. I did manage to salvage some of it, which is what you see here. The problem is that what cured in the cup was clear, and she wanted turquoise, and because I was in a rush, you see how drastically different all of these colors are. It's because I was coloring it in this mold. This is still sticky, which indicates to me that it definitely was not a good pour. I'm actually to be quite honest, worried about demolding these right now because these are probably my favorite molds. And I know that molds don't last forever, but I would like these to last at least a little while, you know. So yeah, this was another disaster of resin. I lost about 400 milliliters of resin, which I'm kind of pissed off about. Because if you don't know, resin is extremely expensive, which is why I buy it in bulk now. Wow. Yeah, this is just, I mean, it's hard, but it's just ugly and terrible. And I will say I'm extremely glad that these are coming out of the molds easily. But you can also see all of the extra lipping that's on it from me being in a rush and trying to stir the color into it. What, Jet? Sorry, you can hear one of our cats in the back. So, yet another disaster. So, in actuality, including these coasters, I think I lost about 500 milliliters of resin. So, that's nice. Okay, so with these, I can't remember if I have a video on these. I don't think that I do because they came out so bad. But I was trying the flip method with these, I believe, where you pour one layer of resin, let that completely cure, demold it, pour the second layer of resin, and then put the already cured resin on the top. And so what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to prevent this lipping around the edge. And I didn't do it correctly, so hopefully you guys can, yeah, you can totally see the extra resin that's on the top here. And also over here. It's almost like a bad doming job that you got, you know, a very little amount of resin onto the doming and then it, you know, cured and shrank. Also, this one has a very large bubble right there. But these were supposed to be Halloween coasters. And again, got another, like, it's almost like a resin hole, but it's strictly just the resin came up over the top. When I put it into the coaster, the resin came up and kind of came over the top. This one turned out pretty good, actually. The only issue is the bubble on the O, but I mean, that's not terrible. And this one also came out pretty good, but again, it has bubbles in it, like right there. And then this final one is really weird because both the bottom and the top have that little lip. But look at how bad that is on the bottom. Like, there's just so much. And the other thing with these is I could fix these. I absolutely could. I could fix them by sanding them down and then doming again. But these coasters are extremely thick already. They are over a ½ an inch thick already. And I feel like that's way too thick for a coaster as it is. Shut up, phone. Hold on, let me silence that. There we go. So I probably won't be fixing these just yet. I may keep them and eventually do a video on how to fix issues like this. We shall see. So yeah, there's that set. And then the last set I did, this was also the flip method version. I think you can already tell what one of the major issues in this one is. It's these gigantic bubbles, and by the way, you can press into the bubbles. So this was a method of laminating paper, putting it into the resin, but I coupled that again with this flip idea because these didn't work out, so I figured, oh, I'll try it again. The paper turned out really pretty. I like the color of the resin, although I do wish there was a little bit less glitter in there. It's just the bubbles. The bubbles turned out to completely ruin these. And the other reason that I wanted to try the flip method again is because this paper that I used is double-sided. So that way, if you wanted the coaster this way, you could sit it this way. If you wanted it this way, so on and so forth. So, yeah, these are just absolutely terrible. And then also, because some of the resin, I don't know that you're going to be able to see. Yeah, there we go. Because some of the resin came up over the top when I did the flip method, it did that. Again, I could dome this, but I just don't see the point when it is not structurally sound because of all of these very large bubbles. Let's see, there we go. So you can see again how the resin had come over the top. I mean, that bubble is absolutely enormous. So, you know, taking the time to dome these would not, I mean, it still would not look great. And to be honest with you, it kind of pisses me off that I had all of those big bubbles because I could have domed these. I know I said that already, and I'm saying it the same way, or twice in a different way. But it's mostly the bubbles that are holding me back from these. Because they would have been so pretty without the bubbles. Except for the fact that they're not centered, and that also kind of pisses me off. But anyway. So yeah, collectively, those are some of my biggest resin fails. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I'm hanging my head in shame. Not really. I've had a lot of really awesome resin pieces come out, so I'm not terribly bothered. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and, you know, wallowing in the pity with me. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. I hope that your February is going great. I hope that you are happy and healthy. And, yeah, I'm going to go. Thanks you guys again so much for watching. Take care.